Well, hello there. Carol Dockum here with Beautiful Faces Going Places Women's Success Network. And I'm so excited. It is August. It's a new month, new beginning, new opportunities, right? I always get really pumped up on Mondays and the beginning of every month. You can call me crazy, but I love the whole idea and concept of new starts, right? New beginnings, new goals. So make sure you set those intentions and just go for it this month. So I'm Carol Dockum, the CEO and founder of Beautiful Faces Going Places Women's Success Network. If you're new to us, we are a visibility, education, and connections and fun platform for women entrepreneurs, small business owners, not just locally, but nationally and globally. We are on a mission to leverage technology, right? The world really is a small place. And my goal is to really create opportunities to market and promote women in business and women entrepreneurs. So thank you so much for joining us here today. One of our programs is called Virtual Networking Events, and our success team members here, part of our network, have the opportunity of hosting their own virtual networking event so that we can create a safe place to connect women around the world, right? And to help you market and promote your business. So I am excited to introduce to you our host today, the fabulous Deborah Fawaz. She is the owner of DDFaces, a speaker, corporate image consultant, wardrobe stylist, makeup artist. Business people really love to work with Deborah because she really helps her clients step into their boldness, their brilliant, create their personal image and branding to make that lasting statement and impact. And I want to say that headshot photographers love working with Deborah. She always says you never get a second chance to make a great first impression. Deborah not only works one-to-one with her clients as a personal stylist and image consultant, but she also teaches and facilitates workshops and gives speaker presentations on color, makeup, personal style, first impressions, how to dress, your makeup techniques, and so that you can just be polished and elevate your physical presence to ultimately elevate your business success too. So please help me welcome the fabulous Deborah Fawaz. Deborah, take it away.
Thank you, Carol. Good morning, everybody. Thank you. Or I guess it's afternoon, but you are the first folks I've spoken to today, so it feels like the morning. Thank you for taking a precious hour out of your day to be here with us today. I hope you make some new connections. I like to say that when we do these networking groups, this is just the seed planting when you get to meet each other. So I really encourage you to put your information in the chat, print it out, and contact all these people. So by next month, you've had at least 2 more virtual coffees or maybe even in-person events if you live by each other. So you really get to know each other and support each other. Maybe whatever you do, your service or your product is not the perfect fit for you, but you never know who you could introduce to somebody that you meet here, or even perhaps collaborate with someone. Carol and I met through this format through a mutual business friend. And since then, I've spoken at our conferences. We've co-hosted events together. And I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and she lives in Cincinnati, Ohio. So you just never know what wonderful possibilities are in that cultivated seed. So make sure you do something with it. My little disclaimer today is that I have preferred products that I use that are clean, and my order didn't come in. And so I went to the grocery store and bought some eye makeup remover that I put on my face this morning. And this right eye is so angry that I bought that product. So I am sniffing my nose and wiping my eyes. Carol is not making me cry today. She has the power to do that. So pardon me for that little disclaimer. And if I'm squinting, I'm having a hard time seeing, but I was not going to miss this event today. So here we are. So Carol, all of these people, I think one of you I've met before, and if it's more than one, I apologize. Sometimes those trips to Ohio are quite a whirlwind. But Carol, could you spend some time telling us about Beautiful Faces Going Places, how we get involved and why we would even want to?
Yeah, thank you, Deborah, for the opportunity, and thank you all for being here today. I'm a former Chamber of Commerce Executive Director. I had this vision about 8 years ago of creating an online Chamber of Commerce to support women in business, bringing together the education, information, and resources to support them and to market and promote our members, right, online, leveraging technology. So it took about 2 years doing all of my homework, trying to figure out how the heck do I do this, right? Finally, I said, slap yourself. You know exactly what you need to do. You know, if you can run a successful Chamber of Commerce for someone else, another city, you can certainly do it for yourself, right? So we launched 5 years ago. We're getting ready to celebrate 5 years this September. And I'm just super, super pumped. Yeah, so you can go to beautifulfacesgoingplaces.com, check out our membership levels, and you just click the button and join, and then you plug into the platform. I've created so many cool ways for you to be seen, be heard, be found, and also just make some new connections, right? Give value and connect with others, and grow your business online and in person through all kinds of events and programs. Basically, that's it in a nutshell. And I hope to see you in our community soon. Thank you so much, Deborah, for hosting us today.
Great. Thank you, Carol. All right, here's how this is going to go down today. First of all, I respect your time, so we will be winding up right at 1 p.m. But everybody will have an opportunity, and that's what will be next, to introduce themselves. And then I'm going to lead a little bit of a conversation in a different way than we usually do. And if we have any time left at the end, we're going to play a game called Ask Me Anything. And you can ask me anything. And I will do my best to answer it. And so we'll talk about that when we get to that segment. But I'd love to know, like, who you are, what you do in the world, where you're coming in from today on Zoom. Tell us your location, and then anything that you are maybe needing help or support with. Do we need to get the word out for you about an event or a new service or a new product you're launching? Like, how can we support you? And if you can do all of that in 1 minute, that would be a miracle, but try and keep it down to around a minute so we all have time to participate. If you see me start like wildly waving my phone at you, that means wrap it up. Please finish your sentence, finish your thought, and we will move on to the next superstar. Sound good? Okay. Oh, and I don't remember if I said this already, but put your information in the chat, please, so that we can reach out to you. And that could just be your business card information. And if there's any event, if you're authoring a book, like whatever is going on, please share that with us. So we'll all have it writing and we can all focus on the screen and not have to take notes because it will be in the chat. All righty. Nancy Reagan, are you ready to share with us?
Mute. Okay, there we go. Yes, my name is Nancy Reagan, and excuse me for my voice, but I have bad allergies here lately, and living in living in Cincinnati, Ohio, it's like you're sick all the time. But yes, I moved to Cincinnati about 25 years ago from Southern California, and I initially started my career in banking. So I am a recovering banker, financial advisor, wealth manager, and a couple of years ago I decided to not really retire, but I was sick of the routine. So I decided to go into residential real estate, which has been very interesting, fun. But I'll tell you, you have to kiss a lot of frogs before you find the right fit in a broker. And I'm just so thrilled. I'm sitting in my office at the Comey and Shepherd location in Montgomery. So we really hit it off. I used to do business with the father of the owner of this company now, and they're high integrity, they invest in each agent, and it's just not a numbers game with them. They hire you because of who you are and what you know. So I'm so happy to be here. Hey, Carol. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate you. I hope that you still have smooth lips after kissing all those frogs. Alyssa, good afternoon.
Hi, everybody. I have met you in person last fall, I think, Deborah, at here in Westchester when the all-day thing. So I
Yeah,
remember the
cool.
presentation.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. So my name's Elisa LeBands. I do all kinds of things. The thing that I tend to sell the most is Style Dots jewelry. I don't know who's heard of it. This is what the logo looks like. These are all different kinds of dots, and you can pop them into everything from earrings to bracelets, and they have all kinds of foundations. So that's what I'm selling right now. But I'm a virtual assistant. I work for my local Chamber of Commerce, and I just wrote a book. It's not really a book, but I'm so excited. It just came today, my first sample copy of anything I've ever done like that. And it was super exciting for me.
Wow. Tell us the name of it.
So it is, it's a grandma's memory making journal.
Oh,
So it's basically, I tell something I do with my grandkids all the time, and I kind of tell the story right here of what I do. And I include prompts for people, 50 prompts that I came up with myself. And then each page looks like this. But the kids are always on the electronics, and getting their attention can be hard. And so I just say, I have 3 questions for you, and they're usually excited because my questions tend to be, who knows what they're going to be. And they know it's, you come in, you do your 3 questions. I'm not going to I'm not taking you away from your phone forever. And so one night at 1 a.m. I thought, oh, I should make this into a journal for myself. And I thought, oh, I should sell it. So anyway, I'm excited about that. And I live in Cincinnati.
all right. Very cool. Is there information you can put on in the chat so we could order that journal?
It'll be live within 48 hours. So I'll put my Facebook thing. If you come friend me, you'll see. Trust me, you'll see when I put it out there.
Okay, very cool. What a great idea. Congratulations on making. A lot of us have a lot of great ideas in our head that spin around, but making it happen is the challenge. So good for you.
1 a.m. is the trick. Do it at 1 a.m. Your inhibitions are down.
Good afternoon, Becky. Will you share with us?
I'd love to. Hi, so I'm Becky Ploutz. I'm actually located in central Wisconsin, and I get to empower and connect empire builders to be seen, heard, and remembered. This is why Carol's like, we align so much. Seen, heard, and remembered for the impact that they make in their world. And I do that through photography, podcasting, and my virtual co-work space and community called Work on Purpose with Purpose, where we show up to do our personal work so that we can be showing up in our world as our best. And I call myself your connection strategist because it's a really it's a culmination of photography, building connections for speakers, authors. I love connecting people to their next best friend or their next business resource or their next community to support them in their growth journey. And I've been doing photography for 13 years. I'm also a mom of 3, 10-year-old daughter, 8 and 7-year-old boys. So we're excited to be wrapping up our summer and getting back some routine in here. So happy to be here and great to meet you all.
That's interesting. you say that, Becky. I just wrote a newsletter about hit the reset button because I see so many business people really like kick it back in gear, almost like January, right?
Mm.
When the kids go back to school, there is kind of a refresh about I'm going to recommit to my exercise, or I'm going to recommit to not eating hamburgers on the grill every week, or whatever it
Yeah.
is. Seems like whether you have kids or not, we all kind of get into that routine of the calendar. And I personally like the opportunity to hit the refresh button and re-examine and go forward into the last quarter of the year. So cool. Thank you for sharing that. And you are busy.
Yeah.
I'm tired listening to your bio.
I kept it really brief. I have multiple titles that I didn't even share, but yeah, that's why we need to be on purpose and intentional for sure.
Hey, just the 3 kids is enough to exhaust somebody right there.
Thank you.
Oh, hi, Claire. How are you today?
I'm great. Please excuse me for eating my lunch during lunch hour. And I got to get it done.
That's why we do this now, so people have the opportunity to multitask.
Excellent, excellent. So I am a recently retired pharmacist. So I've had many, many years of dispensing medications and consulting patients and doctors. And normally it was always the end result where people are sick. It's been my passion to prevent that sickness by getting people healthy. So that's my purpose, is to bring health and hope to people, not just who are hurting, but people who just want to live a healthier life. I don't coach a diet because diet starts with the words DIE, and they work and then they fail because they're not sustainable. So how do we get healthy living sustainable? And that's what I coach. So I don't sell anything in particular, but I do encourage and promote and be by people's side and kick them in the butt when they want to eat that donut, and be a super encourager for people who want to lead a healthier life. So love doing it.
That's great. And what area are you coming in from?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've seen some of these people in person, perhaps?
I have. I've met Carol. I think Carol's the only one I've met.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking time out of your day to be here with us. It's great to meet you.
Pleasure.
Good afternoon, Linda.
Hello all. Hi. So it's my first time here at this event. So I'm just might be shy, but I hope we'll be okay. I'm from Czech Republic, based in Prague, and me and my husband started a company last year in May, and we are providing IT services and maintenance to clients, and mostly to individual small companies, if it's like a long-term or short-term project. And the part of all the services are mostly like digital marketing, branding, building web design, websites, as like web design, mobile applications, and also content writing. So this is to the business stuff. And to my free time, I think when I have some, I'll do some some fitness yoga stuff. I'm a book addict, and I think maybe like taking trips with my husband and our dog. I don't have any kids yet, so let's see. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Travel now, trust me. We just got a little 13-week-old puppy, a Maltipoo, and I haven't had a new puppy in over 30 years. All of us have had a dog, but not a new puppy. Wow, I forgot. So I'm relating to my 4 kids are raised, but this dog, I have 3 grandchildren too. I said to my oldest son, I said, I think I would have rather had the baby. At least when the baby comes out, it can't run and it's wearing a diaper. I'm like chasing poop and pee all day long. Oh goodness. So travel.
Yeah, that's the same like with the dog. It's the same with the dog and my husband as well. So I don't think that's a difference.
Oh, goodness. Where do you want to travel to? What's number one on your list?
New York, definitely US, because I've been there once, like on business trip, and yeah, I just fell in love with it. Since I was like a kid, I always wanted to go to Rockefeller Center and to be like the small Kevin in the movie, and just
Yeah.
to see and have the experience is just amazing. Yeah, I love everything about that,
Yeah.
especially like America. Yeah.
Yeah. The energy and the vibe in New York is very contagious, isn't it?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Hi, Varsha. How are you today?
Doing well. Glad to be here.
Good. Glad to have you.
Yes. So my name is Varsha Lemon. My company is Lemon Wellness, and I'm a health and nutrition coach. But before this, my life was corporate America and banking. And I retired from there to raise my 4 kids. And then in the process, just followed my passion for health and nutrition. And similar to what Claire talked about, I don't believe in diets. I really believe in healthy lifestyle. So what I do is help people with areas that frustrate them the most, such as weight wellness, athletic performance, brain fog and energy, sleep, as well as healthy aging. That's one of my flagship things to help clients with. And so that's my passion, is really to help people live their life the fullest that they can and stay out of the doctor's office as much as possible. So I've been doing that for about 8 years, and it's been awesome. And I have 2 events that I am hosting. One is in Augusta, Georgia, and that's going to be on September 9th. And it's just really an opportunity event to get to know me and what I do, to see if that's something that would be a great fit for people, and more of an education. And then on September 11th, I'm doing an 11-day reset. So yes, it is. Everybody's back to school. There's no more excuses. Labor Day is over. So it's a perfect time to just reintroduce wellness on an 11-day reset. So that's what I'm starting on September 11th. And I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you live in Georgia now?
No, I have a colleague and coworker that's there. So she's really wanting to host an event and, talk to hair salon owners and different health professionals to talk to them. So she asked me if I'd come speak with her.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
I'm in Georgia, about an hour north of the Atlanta airport.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not too far.
Not too far. All right, I got everybody right. Wave at me if I missed you. Okay, so I like to call my company DDFaces a concierge level image experience. Some of the services that are offered are personal styling, color analysis, and makeup artistry. And business women hire me to elevate their physical presence so they make a memorable impression, a lasting impression. Once that we went online during the whole pandemic situation, it was exciting. We got to meet, once we got over the shock of not being able to hug people and all that, we're allowed to meet people all over the country and all over the world, actually. And I don't think this form of communicating or doing business is going away. People certainly are happy to get together personally, but this is such a great opportunity. But the reason I bring that up is your competition has grown exponentially. So not only do you have access to so many more people, but whatever you're doing, somebody else is doing it in some way online as well, right? And so that's why you have to really stand out and be memorable, whether it's your message or some accessory you're wearing or a story that you tell that makes people remember you. It's more important now than ever, in my humble opinion. So I work with women to make sure that happens. So today, I'm going to do something a little different. Most of you haven't been in this group before, so you don't know it's different, but I felt compelled to say that. So I have a friend, a business friend and associate. Her name is Jane Bishop, and she calls herself the Positive Interrupter. The name of her business is Take the Next Step. You should look that up online. Great website, Take the Next Step. And she just created a card deck called A Word for Your Day. And she actually started this in the pandemic as a way of this word for your day, not her business. So she would go take a walk for exercise, and she's already selected a word, and then she would come on live on Facebook and pick a word and then encourage people to think about it, to sit with that word, to ponder and how it affected them. Or so it was motivational, inspirational, and then somebody encouraged her to put these on cards. So, and every card has a picture, and most of the pictures I think she took. They're her photographs. So we'll just, I didn't organize this in any way. I think that's a snail. Do you all agree with me? Okay. It's some kind of creature in the grass. All right. And then here's the word on the back. So I'm going to share what's on the back of this card. And then if you feel moved to share or answer any of the questions, I'm not going to go around the room and call on you by name, but we're just going to have a little bit of a group conversation. Let's let Virginia in the room. Okay, so the word is determination. And it says that, well, the dictionary definition is the firmness of purpose, resoluteness. And then here are the words on the back of the card. Determination can be a great motivator. Healthy determination requires grit. Okay, here's the question. What is the difference between stubbornness and grit? Sit with that for a few seconds. There's no answers on here, by the way. These are just conversation starters, so there's no wrong answer. What is the difference between stubbornness and grit? Anybody have a reaction to that? Go ahead, Varsha.
Yeah, so for me, I think stubbornness is being stuck in my own way and not in my unwillingness to do a certain task or an action, whereas grit is a deep down burning desire to get something done. And I will accomplish that at no matter what it takes of me. If I have to make 100 phone calls before I go to bed, whatever that goal is, I'm going to take action to get to that goal. So that to me is great. You know, if it's calling, you know, if I know I have to meet 5 customers and it's the last one, if it takes going to the gas station to fill up gas and talking to a random stranger, that's what grit is to me. When I see people do like that, that to me is grit.
I love that. Thank you. And I like the idea of going, I hate going to the gas station. I always pass that off to my husband. I don't know why. It's one of my, like, I just like hate it. But if I knew that I could possibly meet a new client there, now I'm going to think about that every time I fill up my car. Thanks, Varsha. Anybody else want to share about stubbornness versus grit? Go ahead, Claire.
Well, she pretty much said everything I was going to contribute, but I think of being closed-minded and open-minded. Whereas somebody who's stubborn is closed-minded. I don't care what you think. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And being open-minded is having the grit and power to stay on course, yet listening to the input and developing them into your own grit.
Nice. That's a great summary and a great analogy. Thank you. Virginia, welcome. Glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm sorry I'm
So,
late.
that's all right.
Yeah,
So
thank you for having me.
we're using conversation starters from Jane Bishop's card deck. You know Jane, right?
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Did you have a response to determination versus grit?
Yes, I guess what I got was, I guess, stubbornness is, what I'm getting is, it's about control, and it's about the my way or the highway, like, like it's like my way or no way.
Mhm.
And for me, the grit is about power. It's about inspiration. It's about inner power. And so basically the energy of grit is it's about kind of like accessing your own strength and ability, and also interacting with the world in a strong kind of way, versus the stubbornness is about like, this is how I want to do it, and then I'm gonna throw myself in the ground, like, like when my kid throws himself in the ground. Like, he doesn't do it anymore, but when he was a little kid and he tantrum. So I don't know, stubbornness just, I don't know, it reminds me of my kid's tantrum when he was 5.
Well, thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing that. Anybody else want to comment on that card? All right, I'm going to pull out another one. This is, here's the picture. Jane likes the big silly glasses. She has them on all the time. All right, the back of this card says, a word for your day, spontaneous. Performed or occurring as a result of a sudden inner impulse or inclination and without premeditation or external stimulus. Wow, that's a fancy definition. Okay, here's the question. When did you last do something out of spontaneity? Elisa.
Like I said earlier, my spontaneity tends to happen at 1 a.m. I'm not up at 1 a.m. very often, but that seems to be a spontaneous time of night. Every domain name I've ever bought, I bought at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I tend to be creative at that time, but also kind of takes you don't really think about it so much. So what was the question? I'm so sorry.
No, it was, when is the last time you did something spontaneous?
So when I made that journal, yeah, it was just a few days ago, 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Anybody else? See, we're not very spontaneous, are we? Or what you're doing spontaneously, you're not comfortable sharing to this group of strangers. I'll just leave it at that. All right, the next question is, what keeps you from being spontaneous? I'll share that. I am too over attached to my to-do list. And I've heard a lot of coaching before, like highlight the top 3 things and just do that. And then if you get those 3 things done, then do whatever you want to. And I feel a lot more accomplished when I do that, but I also have guilt when I don't finish the list in that day. And then that's the stuff that does this when you can't fall asleep at night, right? So I would be more spontaneous if I just would get those 3 things done. I think I just solved my problem by talking about it out loud. If I could just get those 3 things done and then allow myself to do something spontaneous, that could become a positive interrupter, a really good new habit. What keeps you
Deborah,
being
I think,
spontaneous? What, Carol?
yes, I was just thinking, gosh, what keeps me from being spontaneous? I feel like it's having such a schedule, I would say what gets scheduled gets done. So if it's on my calendar and I've written it down, it's going to happen, whether it's something I'm creating or an appointment with someone, or, if I just schedule my time, it gets done, right? So I think that's what keeps me from being spontaneous, is just having a calendar full of stuff that I want to achieve and accomplish, which is a good thing. So
Right.
yeah, at least for me, I don't see it as, not,
So maybe if you were a little less scheduled,
yes,
there would be time to be spontaneous. we're kind of in the same vein of thought,
Yes.
aren't we?
We are, exactly.
Well, you are definitely a very busy person. You just cannot get on social media and not see Carol Dockum. She's everywhere. In person and virtually.
You
I
know
can
what?
share. Yeah,
I
sorry.
say, do what you love what you do, right?
That's right.
I'm sorry.
I wanted to say that for me, what I do to be spontaneous, which, I guess there is a combination of maybe not as spontaneous and as spontaneous. But for example, today, I'm going to be spontaneous because I'm having a spontaneous time. So I'm creating this space to be like, I'm going to do whatever I want space. So this is my time, so there's going to be a specific time of the day that I'm giving myself permission to be spontaneous and do nothing. And, so in a way, maybe it's not completely spontaneous in the sense that I just like did it, but in a way it's giving myself that space to structure the other stuff in other times, and then having that almost guilt-free time,
Right. Right, because if you are spontaneous and then you beat yourself up about it, I think you've like completely erased the effect of the spontaneity, right? Yeah. The back of this card says being spontaneous could be something very small. It doesn't have to be planned out, a big event, a trip. It could be a walk, a 10-minute walk to get out of the chair. Yeah, Elisa.
When you say that, I do a lot of like spontaneous things with the kids when I just want to mix up the energy, or if they've been on their phones too long or something. We'll do sometimes I'll come down the steps with that fee-fi-fo foam, like I smell the blood, and they run and hide and scream. Or we do a lot of like spontaneous Simon Says, where all of a sudden we stop what we're doing, we play Simon Says, we turn off all the lights and they have little mini flashlights, and we do stuff like that. So I do a lot of that kind of thing spontaneously.
Cool. Very good. Love it. Becky, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I need more of those quick ideas like that. That's great. I was just going to share. So in my community, we have a monthly theme, and our theme this month is Love Fearlessly. And the conversation has been how, for me, that's taking the limits off love for the people around me, for myself. And just in these first 2 days of the month, I was recognizing how I am a control freak. And one of the things I do with my kids is that I have a 10-minute focus time of whatever they want to do for playing. And I do one a day because there's 3 of them. So to make sure that I just get, designated time with one person. But I recognized on August 1st that as soon as our timer went off for our time, I was like, okay, I'm going to go do something else. And my son asked, can we have more time? And I was like, nope, we got it. I'm going to do something else. And I didn't have anything actually like on the schedule that needed to be done. And I recognized real quick that was where I could be spontaneous and say, of course, yes, let me give more love and more attention to my kid. And I did that. So just working on that spontaneity with little things is my theme for the month, actually. So this is great discussion.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Says on here, take a risk, be spontaneous. I really never thought about being spontaneous as risky, but for some of us, bound to our calendars, our schedules, our whatever, then that is a risk. That is a step outside maybe your comfort zone. All right, cool. Okay, I'm going to put the cards up, but this is kind of fun, even if you have something like this at your desk. And you can buy cards with any kind of theme. They could be spiritual, motivational, they could be funny. But I just kind of have fun when I get to my desk in the morning, pulling out a card and reading it. And it's just kind of like a little brain charger, something a little different instead of being stuck in your own head. Okay, so we are now at the Ask Me Anything phase. If there's anything you want to ask me personally or about the group or about color or makeup or hair or skincare, anything. I don't care.
I have a
Go,
question.
Elisa. Yep.
So I'm not super into clothes in general, mainly because I've always, had trouble. But anyway, what do you think of capsule wardrobes? And can you tell us a little bit about that? I don't understand it exactly.
Okay, great question. So a capsule wardrobe basically selects X number of pieces, and then you have a wide variety of options for mix and matching. Okay, so they're separates, but they're things that serve you as like your staples, just like how you always have olive oil and butter and salt and pepper and sugar in your kitchen, right? That's your staple wardrobe. It's typically not anything currently trendy, both in color and in I can't find my word, but the characteristics of the item. Now, it just depends who you work with. I've seen people create capsule wardrobes. If you just go on Pinterest and type capsule wardrobe, you'll be overwhelmed with the thousands of boards on there that have that. But a lot of them, are like 200 pieces, or they might cost you $4,000. I don't tend to work like that with people unless you want to throw your whole wardrobe out and start over. So I look at things like, if you go on my website, for example, Elisa, and you sign up for my newsletter, you will automatically be emailed my sheet of capsule wardrobing and how to start. And there's just 8 items on it. And half of them might be in your closet. For instance, and typically I do this with business women because most other people that, I don't mean work at home, but their job is raising the kids and nothing else. They're not putting themselves out in the world like we are. They don't really need a capsule wardrobe. They can buy whatever they want to. So typically business women like a pair of black trousers with a straight leg. Okay, we're not going with the really wide leg that's in fashion right now, or the crop or the skinny, because those are all trendy. And your capsule wardrobe should be classic. It should make you feel good. It should be elegant. And then you spice it up with maybe a trendy color of blouse that season. Does that make sense? Or
Yep.
a trendy accessory to make it look a little more current. But you never want to invest in pieces that next year look so last year. Does that make
Yep.
sense?
My wardrobe looks so 80s. So
Well, let's have a coffee and
my
talk
fashion
about
sense
that.
is if it fits, it works. So I need to upgrade.
And
Hey,
think
the
of
80s
that-
was a cool era.
yeah,
I have to say it was.
think of that too as one piece at a time. Like, so it's not overwhelming emotionally and financially. I'll say to people, figure out how much you're willing to commit to spend on clothing a month. And then maybe every other month, once we have I don't like to say budget, a budget feels restricting like a bra. But once we know the parameters of what you want to spend on clothing, then we'll pick one item a month or every other month and build that way. Somebody else had their hand up, I think. Yeah, Varsha.
I'm just curious. So, what inspired you to become a stylist?
Well, that's a great question. Let me give a shameless plug. I just wrote a chapter in a book that is all about my story, and it'll come out in October. So I'm not going to spill all the beans here, but I have always been interested in color and makeup and hair for these reasons. And then I'll let you read the rest of it later. My dad was a minister. We grew up in Illinois. I was the oldest and the only daughter. My mom, this is how my chapter starts out. You are a reflection of me. So that was my mom's attitude, that she had to be the perfect minister's wife. This is in the 50s. And so she was a reflection of her husband, and I'm next in line. And that was in the day of children are seen and not heard thing. And so I was taken to a lot of places and just had to like stand there and smile and be real cute. My little lace ankle socks and black patent leather Mary Janes. I'm 5'9", and I was this tall when I was 12 years old. So nothing fit me in retail, and we couldn't afford it. So my mom sewed all my clothes. And then when I was 16, she took me to Merle Norman. Anybody know Merle Norman? Yeah, it's a freestanding skincare and cosmetics store. And so my birthday present was she gave me a makeup lesson because she didn't want me to look like a streetwalker. Those were her words. And so I learned how to put it on right and tastefully, didn't embarrass her. My mother is not an evil demon. I'm not making her out to be that way. But that influenced me to, by the time I was in my 20s, I wanted to walk in a store, buy clothes. I loved experimenting with color on, makeup, hair, all of that. That's kind of how it happened. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Somebody else had their hand up. Yeah, you're well. Let me check our time through my teary eye. Okay, 3 more minutes. Linda, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, sure. Just a question. When you wake up in the morning, what makes you decide what you're gonna be wearing today? Or is it just like your mood or meetings or schedule by the day? What is that?
These are great questions. You are my new favorite people. I would say the schedule. So when I'm on a Zoom meeting, I wear something that typically is a bright color, a color that doesn't blend with my background, because then you just look like a talking head. Very little pattern. So I just think it's a cleaner, crisper look online to go towards solids or small prints. Typically, I avoid black, white, and that color behind me. So the schedule is a big part of it. I do a lot of networking luncheons, so I'm going to step that up a little more than my online appearance. I actually have shoes on today, but they're flats, and I usually wear boots or a little heel. I'm not young, so I'm not in the 3-inch heels anymore. A wedge shoe is a really nice alternative, a platform to a heel. It's a lot more comfortable. You feel more stable, but it elevates your look a little more than a flat. Becky.
So at the beginning of the call, Carol had mentioned photographers loving talking with you, and I would love to hear just a little bit more about that, as I am a photographer. Do you do like partnerships of any kind, or how do you support photographers and doing branding, photo shoots, and those kinds of things? Would love to know more about that.
Yeah. So it starts with me having basically an interview with the client. So I want to know, what are you going to use these pictures for? How do you want people to feel when they see your picture? What's the message you're trying to give through this picture? And then we do a virtual tour. Unless I'm in their city, I go to their house, of their closet. And I give them some ideas of what to look for. And they bring the hanger out, and then we accessorize it, because I want all the decisions made before they arrive. I'm sure you've experienced this, Becky. Most women are not excited about getting their picture taken, because we all are so hard on ourselves about how we look and how we think we should look. So they're anxious when they arrive, right? So making all the decisions ahead of time about what you're going to wear and how many outfit changes you're going to have, and you already have the accessories lined up with that. That takes a lot of the stress out, and it also helps the photographer, because if I'm not there, people are like, can I wear this? What do you think about this? So then that whole interview process is happening at the studio. And then I'm not a hairdresser, but I do hair touch-ups, because some people, maybe they worked all day and it rained and their hair got frizzy or whatever. So hair touch-up, and then I do their makeup, and I stay through the first 2 outfit changes while the photographer is figuring out the lighting. Becky, they're also taking pictures so that I can do a makeup check. Because how the camera sees you, ladies, is not how you see yourself in the mirror. And no one really teaches you that. So I just do that for you.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Becky. Let's
Yeah,
talk.
love
Let's
that.
have a coffee. All
Absolutely.
right. Carol, will you take us home? It's a few minutes before 1.
Yes, I just want to say thank you so much, Deborah. You are an amazing virtual networking host. I hope everyone here today receives some value, some good golden nuggets to take away. Linda, Elisa, Varsha, Claire, Becky, Virginia, and Nancy, thank you all so much for joining us here today. Visit our website often at beautifulfacesgoingplaces.com, and also visit Deborah Fawaz. Deborah, your website again. Deborah, where's the best place for our viewers to connect with you?
I'm just typing it in right now because I haven't done that yet because I've been talking too much, but it's DDFacesbyDeborah.com, and I'm putting it in the chat.
Awesome. Awesome. So thank you so much, Deborah.
Okay.
Everyone have a fabulous day and take care, everyone. Thank you so much, Deborah. Bye, everyone.
My pleasure. Y'all know how to save chat.